Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are playing more Phoenix Wright, not Justice for All, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the retcon. Turnabout retcon. I don't remember what it was called. The bonus tournament. Oh, did I think I clicked the wrong one. I was like, wait, what is Pearl doing here? I got very confused. I'm leaving that in because that was just funny. Okay, here we go. Now we're at the right thing. Maya hasn't been kidnapped yet or accused of murder. Instead, we're back in court. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright?
Frankly, there's still a lot of gray areas.
Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. Oh yeah, I forgot we had Olivier, but like an Olivier Armstrong that had given up on life. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice.
Yes?
A defense attorney should never believe their client. Yeah, we know this. You have said that you're guilty like 18,000 times. We've had them who have basically just manipulated us. We've had some that were like, we literally dealt with that before this, like 2 months before, because Edgeworth was like, I'm the one who killed him, and it wasn't him. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that.
Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia.
Don't remind her of her ex-girlfriend.
But there's one decisive difference between you and her.
And that is?
You're not the defense attorney.
I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright.
My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there, so I'll have to discover the truth all by myself.
Let's do this, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Let's jam. Court is on a session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in the courtroom since his trial.
I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. Here's my question. Is he not, like, biased towards this? Because he was, like, framed for it. Like, he is involved in this. Like, why are they like, we're gonna also have him, like, try, like, I mean, I guess it's different, like, between, like, a judge or, like, jury or something, but, like, still. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. We don't need you to confess, Lana. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Why is professional in quotes? Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. The cough-up queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Caviar! I've never eaten caviar before!
The judges really won't get down.
And for you, I have a fiesta bowl.
Thanks.
Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir?
Did you order the fingerprint? What is the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please.
Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I've actually never had caviar, so I don't know, but I don't know if I would like it, because I'm very picky about fish sometimes. Like, I will inhale salmon, but like, I don't like tuna, and I have yet to figure out why. And I'm also just like, the entire idea of it just being like the little eggs and just being too squishy, I'm just like, ugh. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. Exactly. That's why I'm like very picky. Like, I think I've had boba once and it's fine. And I'm like, I just want to like boba.
How the heck does pickled tapioca taste like?
Name, profession, now. Me? The name's Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us.
The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating.
Hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean?
2 years ago, Miss Angel was a star special investigator with the police.
She was a first-rate homicide detective.
What? Miss Star was a detective? I know who you are. Cough up. Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Star. Just who is this lady?
If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2. I suppose that's just to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright. I can't agree on principle, Your Honor.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star. Wait, are they talking about me?
Always knew I was on my way to a lunchbox with my boyfriend. Sent something. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garage car. Chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand, thrust a pointy tip into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife in which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
I am gonna go through and press everything because I am trying to get everything, like all of the
I'm trying to get all the achievements. I feel like I'm missing stuff. We'll go back and double check that. Okay. So I did manage to get some stuff. Let's press this real quick. This boyfriend, he's the detective. Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. Security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with security sign. Incidentally, how many... Did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I'm a visitor, I park in the B lot. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
Then I think this one. By Garrett's car, you mean?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, are you sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away.
I am certain it was her. And I think that certainty does come from this photo. Or was it this one? Tell me more about this knife the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? Is it your knife after all?
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of man's vital organs. And I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill a man, I mean a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
So the defendant was holding a knife, what then? Okay. Press this one too. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is tell the court why you didn't try to stop the crime. You did see her raise this knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late?
Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
I see.
It's only a flesh wound.
Okay. So there has to be something I'm missing. Hold on.
Damn it, she has gloves. I was gonna be like, wait, she's not wearing gloves. Wait, hold on. Okay, this is the thing that's not making sense. Is why isn't, like, why would they say, like, for me, this sounds like he was stabbed prior and not then. Like, that's kind of what it's sounding like to me more than anything. Just how this is phrased. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. No, they would have said something like died at this time. But if he got, like, if he bled out, right? Or am I looking at this wrong? Okay. So I was wrong. So now we present the crime photo.
Objection!
And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife.
As I've already stated, yes. I spared on my finest salmon roll lunch.
Okay, why is there a whole ass bottle of like what looks like tonkatsu sauce? Like I would be down for salmon, like, just a salmon lunch, so that sounds fine to me, but why is there a whole bottle of tonkatsu sauce? I'm sure that is a fine lunch, but isn't that odd? Look at this. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Guy not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Objection! And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat?
But it's a black and white...
Phoenix. Quit being dumb. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to sit there and take that kind of abuse?
You've got a better idea.
Let's object, 'cause we always object.
Wait, that contradicts what the witness had said in her testimony, namely that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it.
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain and remorse. It was a premeditated murder. You have no proof that it's premeditated. There's no proof.
Objection! Premeditated. You have no proof. Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? I mean, if she wears gloves on a normal basis, that's not premeditation.
Premeditation wouldn't be murdering someone a little after 5 p.m.
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on?
Those do not look like rubber.
If it's not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves.
Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. And premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned, the rubber gloves proved it.
Was she arrested with the rubber gloves?
Hold it! What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves?
Like, we also don't have proof that those are rubber.
Objection! The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind you use for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Impressive. I'm sorry they took you out to force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. And I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
It's only a flash move, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You've said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
It's pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool across the witness. Oh, shoot.
There has to be something in that. And the only thing that I can think is the phone. Like, I'm wondering...
Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
Well, what's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana's guy planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing special gloves.
It seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon?
Oh.
This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car.
Also, how did they get into the trunk of the car? Like, just asking.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
No, we've literally solved the issue of first-degree murder.
Now we're at second. We're not even out of murder.
Right? I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide had turned. Not ever such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole... This shoots a hole in the whole premeditated murder. I hate that line. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana's guy, murdered a detective with a knife. That's the only thing the prosecution needs proof. Need proof, nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Early now. Ooh. She intended to murder him. That was why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against him. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Oh. Does that sound like a lot like premeditation?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Okay.
Let me...
What kind of grudge?
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge.
Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside?
How am I supposed to know?
See, we agree that there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it. That's why my lunch is so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking that?
It's simple. Wait, how does she know that? I guess it...
You have no proof that Miss Guy called him there.
You have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There's no records of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana's Guy's phone.
And she might have written him a letter.
Come on, you could have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. Sure you have reason to be there? A human machine, if that's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance?
Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's thigh smells like citrus fruit.
You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly?
We often say chop up into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done?
How come she's getting mad at me?
Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that.
Leave it at that. This is a murder case, people.
Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know.
The star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
Short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required. I think we've pressed everything.
You said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was more of a prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie. Never interrupt the storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked.
Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you.
Trying to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet.
Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim?
Her actions speak for themselves.
Okay.
There has to be something contradicting it. Oh.
You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise.
I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. A good job, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero, really.
What about my objection? No one noticed.
Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one should ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from the victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Red muffler looked like blood to me. She's not wearing it. I'm gonna go. Like, she's not wearing it in the photo.
Miss Star, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or a muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What is that adjective? Chopped liver?
But it was there! A scarf! No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well, now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertainment interlude, but back to business.
What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
The suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. Quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. She mentioned the muffler. That's why made an escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Which, that doesn't make sense because you're quite determined about the scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. And that's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self. Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Aren't most people? The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum. Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
God, I hated doing that.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may your cross-examination, if you will. It has to do something with the call she made. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I wasn't focused on that. Wait! That's the thing that I'm kind of questioning is this call, 518. Okay. Let's go.
Now, she mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say?
If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see Miss Star. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order, so she used her cell phone. Which makes no sense. Like, why wouldn't she just use her phone in the first place? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Huh. Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
Should course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. She wouldn't be able to see that.
Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
I was gonna ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookie. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright? I think I'm supposed to use the map because she wouldn't be able to see. I think, but then there's something else. I think it was in here.
She made to escape.
She rushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight at all. Okay.
Huh?
She even kicked over an oil drum at me.
An oil drum.
There was an oil drum lying on the scene of the crime, but it's strange.
Well, what's that? She wanted to escape. Why didn't she run the other way?
The parking lot entrance. That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries.
I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though, so she tried to run.
Sorry my sister's so suspicious.
Not as sorry as I am.
She didn't do it. You have to believe me.
So we press that.
Then I don't think we pressed this one yet.
You say quickly, were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Let's press it. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. Lynch lady's car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the cop of Queen Lunch Lady athlete indeed. It had taken her a little time to climb over the fence, but she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
And the fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Guy not get away?
Okay, I think... I feel like the parking lot floor plans. Because it is absolutely stupid how Angel is describing she ran off.
Okay, I was right.
Objection!
I think this is the right statement. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you'd be my knight in shining armor prosecutor? And you together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
Huh, I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed a crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't have you've seen Miss Guy making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of the partition. If you indeed were in Block B, you couldn't have seen it.
What? Order, what is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about.
I want to say where she saw it, because she could have seen it. But at the very least, if she didn't see it,
Miss Guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about that fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Guy using the emergency phone, it would mean Miss Starr witnessed a crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least tell me it. Let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard from now is points in one direction.
Like, it has to be, like, here.
Take that! This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security guard room is the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there, but why there? There are many other places she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being part of the prosecutor's office could have parked at Lot A. The only place where she could see the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr.
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could have been turned. Today, a man has gotten the better of Star Angel's Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? Doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't take that risk without good reason.
So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Okay.
Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. She lied and said she saw it from Block B.
The only thing is that photo. If you look at it, it still does look like it's taken through the chain link. So that's the only thing. I don't know how both could have occurred.
It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change?
I mean, the angle would have changed. The distance wouldn't have to change. Lighting wouldn't change. The angle would, but this is saying distance.
It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but only look at the floor plans. It is quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not the question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime for the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness, you.
Yes.
You ordered the squid wheels, right?
Quality of my lunches have gone from low to inedible.
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend? He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime for the Goswald station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in Block B. That's quite a detour. And it probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. That's real bad. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do we have any evidence to stop this?
I don't know if we have evidence, but I'm pretty sure we can't sit back.
Objection!
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest? Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time if you like it al dente.
I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Yeah.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blanketer testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
That was too close. I'm afraid that the cop-up queen has been dethroned, and with that, court is adjourned.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's what she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense's team leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What is she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time?
Should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene, and now... To the matter of the victim's shoes, did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
She proves...
Why did she have the shoes?
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Objection!
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. And that's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And? You had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
We've shown evidence all the time.
In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright? Like, I know at least in the States, like, and I've mentioned this before, the whole discovery phase, where, because, like, if someone's just like, hey, here's the gun that so-and-so shot, like, you have no way of proving it. Especially in, like, a jury case. But because this is a judge case, I don't know if it'd be different.
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Also, the other thing is because you can't run the test, and it's, you know, if the police don't get it, like, even in the police, like, there's, like, very, like, regimented things in terms of, like, you know, transferring things, and so many people have to sign stuff because it's very easy to forge evidence. So, like, having it just, like, not be there and then a witness being like, hey, here's the person, like, you don't know what the source is. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. And don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty solid.
You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecution's complaint notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine your witness. Hold on. Blood here too. Stepped in a puddle of his own blood. Wait, is that his shoe? Oh, that's the victim's shoe. Okay. I thought that was her shoe. I was like, hold on, let's go like check the stuff. Blood, it's my sister's. Lana's hand was bandaged. Okay. Okay. That's press.
I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole bed of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction.
And that gleam in your eye, you're still young, Ricky. I'd give you a peppered fish gut right now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with the evidence. Which is the fact that there's any blood at the bottom.
Take that!
I wonder if you noticed there's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Huh. Indeed, there's quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about the blood on the bottom of the shoe?
Take that!
The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood, then isn't it strange? Why were any bloody footprints found at a scene of a crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints in the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. The picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Order! 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 What, witness? What, huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. Just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. If she slipped, there was one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to what she told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief prosecutor tried to resist. Her efforts were in vain. Knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. I thought that was strange for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. The oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? You'd still be able to find, like, you can't. Like, blood is not going to wash away. You're still going to have, like, the UV lights and whatnot that can pick it up. Like, you're still going to be able to detect it. Especially with just blood. Like, it takes a lot to get blood out of stuff. Still don't get it right. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason. Aha! And you don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would have become evidence against her. But what's the purpose of washing the footprints away? There's no... What reason would she have to wash the footprints? That thing ties up things nicely. The blood stains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to his murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe. I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There's no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant Miss Lana Sky. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well? I thought you had your fill, but here you are demanding a stopping helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare me. The cough-up queen. Look at this. Photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait, look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Again, my question isn't the fact of, oh, she tried to hide the evidence. What purpose did she have in hiding the footprints, if there were any? Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind, immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I could help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right, wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well. I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph. The last was submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright.
Hold on.
I can't tell if it's like it has to be the same car, but it also looks like there's something here in the tailpipe. Also, I'm not sure if the blood stain. I thought the blood stain was on the outer part, not the inner part, but I'm not 1,000% sure.
Take that!
The problem is this photograph. And this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking at a car's muffler. Wait, just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor.
You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photo.
Muffler is also part of it on a car or a motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe.
I see, and I see. There's a suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler. Huh. So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind.
Tell us why you think this piece of cloth and muffler is related to the case.
Take that!
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Yeah, Mr. Muffler, yeah, we know that.
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence.
Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any questions unanswered, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. That was close. But we made it, at least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry.
And that's gonna be it for this episode. I will see y'all next time. Bye!